Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club, and it's morning here. I am Sally Reyes, your Sergeant at Arms, acting Sergeant at Arms at this day. And please take out your phone and set it to silence. Please help me welcome our esteemed President, Talaban Hamid. Take it away. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sergeant Atal. Welcome, everyone, to another momentous meeting of leaders worldwide. Why is it momentous? Because it will have moments of truth. Get it? See what I did there? Today is meeting number 95. And the funny thing is that for many of you, it's morning. And for me, it will be morning as well. Only in 1 hour, the clock will strike midnight, and then technically morning will start. So today's theme is Beat the Heat. And this is something very close to my heart because we have to beat the heat because we have started burning. In my home country, there are floods. 40% of cultivable land is right now under floods. And hundreds of deaths. People say that we need to worry about climate change. We need to start planning to combat the effects of climate change. I think we should all wake up to the reality that the climate has changed. This is what the experts in my country are saying, that you spent years and years trying to anticipate and trying to plan. Those years are wasted because the disaster has arrived. And we see it on every continent, in North America, in Europe, in Middle East, and it is manifesting in different ways. Somewhere it's too dry, and at other places it's too wet. Somewhere it's too cold, and other places it's too hot. Have you noticed recently how ridiculously unreliable the weather forecasts have become? You simply cannot forecast the weather beyond maybe 1 or 2 days. It has become a exercise in futility. So we need to start doing something about it rather than just talking about it. And I believe that at our personal ends, if we can contribute even a little bit towards conserving water, towards reducing global warming, you know, according to our belief, the universe, God, whoever, they reward every effort 100 times. But we need to make that effort first. So with that, I welcome you all to this meeting once again, and we have a couple of guests. So we have guest Yusuf. Uh, so Yusuf, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, yeah. My name is Youssef, and I'm from Mauritania in Africa. I am a student. I'm 24 years old, and I'm learning English. I've been learning English 2 years now. Yes.
Good for
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. It's lovely to have you. And we had another guest who has just disappeared as soon as his turn came. So I don't know what happened there, but maybe we can skip over them and instead welcome someone known for their sense of humor and for their singing prowess. Please welcome our Toast Master of the Day, DTM Victor Irving Jenkins.
Yeehaw! Okay, can anybody hear me? Am I not muted? Fantastic. Welcome to the meeting with Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club. As Talha bin Hamid just told us, the theme of our meeting is Beat the Heat. And before I introduce the timer, I'll briefly say 1 or 2 words about beating the heat. The only time you really want to beat the heat is when you're in the kitchen. Have you heard if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen? Because the only time you want to endure the heat is when you have a vested interest to be in the heat. And one of the few times that you want heat is when you're in the kitchen because you're making food. food, like pizza, like baked chicken. So you beat the heat one way by being in the kitchen and enduring the heat. Another way that you can beat the heat is if you live in the Sacramento area where I live, you can move for the summer. Because it gets really hot in Sacramento. The last few days, it's been triple digits. And for those of you who are sympathetic or empathetic or what have you, my air conditioning has been out for the last 2 days. So you know what I've been doing? Staying away from home and being in my car, doing way more
Oh,
driving than
that's
I usually do because the air
that's
conditioner works.
devastating.
Yeah. But you know, I'm not a crier, so I'm home at night when it's cool and I'm gone during the daytime. Fortunately, my wife is on a cruise in the Bahamas, so nobody misses me when I'm not home during the day. That's my spiel on beating the heat. How do you beat the heat? I'll make a suggestion. Think of the places you know that are really cold, whether you want it to be cold or not, whether it's winter or not, whether it's summer. One way that many people beat the heat is they go to the movies, because every movie theater that I've been in has been ice cold from the moment I went in to the moment I went out. So consider going to the movies, watching a good movie, and that's one way to beat the heat, particularly if your air conditioning has gone out, like mine has, because that's what I'm going to do today. So as the Toastmaster, I'm moderating this meeting that we're having today, and unfortunately for those people who really are in love with the sound of my voice, I don't get to say much today because we have so many other things going on. But I will stop talking now and introduce the timer. We have a young man, a new Toastmaster, who's going to function as our timer. And I am really pleased that he has taken this on at such an early step in his Toastmasters career. I'm going to give him a rousing introduction, ladies and gentlemen. So to give us the timer and what the timer does and how the timer does it, I give to you none other than Rowan King. Let's hear it up for Rowan King. Rowan, what about the timer?
Thank you so much. So I'm going to be the timer today, which means that I'll just kind of be keeping track of everyone's times and making sure that they're staying within the time boundaries of the different constraints that we have. So I believe we're mostly going to be timing the table topics today. And so when you hit 1 minute, I'll show the green screen, which should be visible now. Then when you hit 1.5 minutes, I'll show the yellow. And at 2 minutes, I'll show the red. And at that point, you'll have about 30 seconds to wrap up your talk, and that'll be that. So that's about it and what I do. Thank you. Back to you.
And
Rowan,
Rowan,
Oh,
there,
please go ahead.
there's a trick that
Oh, the raised
that
hand, yeah.
timers do, and that is you go to reactions and raise hands, and then you
Mhm.
always show up. So we have no excuses when we run off at the mouth, like some of us I know.
Give me alone.
No, I meant myself. I make the mistake a lot of running on too much.
Okay,
Thank
so
you,
I
Back to
think
me?
My hand
Back
should
to
be
me?
raised.
Is it back to me yet?
Yes, back to you.
Okay, give him a round of applause. Thank you, Rowan King. Thank you very much for your participation. And now if you're looking at the agenda, or if you're not looking at the agenda, the next thing that's on the agenda is to introduce the president as the MOT facilitator. But here's a fun fact. I lived in England for many years when I was a young man, and MOT means something different in their context than it means here. The MOT is something that you get on your car every year. It stands for the Ministry of Transportation. I think we call it SMOG or something like that. But we're not doing that today. We're going to use MOT in a different context today, and that's going to be managed by our illustrious, indefatigable club president, the man whose name ought to be practiced for everyone who wants to learn a foreign language or even an American language. But practice saying this name, and you will make sure that your mouth works perfectly, just like it ought to. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you our MOT facilitator, our club president, none other than Talha bin Hamid. Let's hear it, Talha.
Thank you. Thank you for that cheerful introduction. There's also something else that MOT stands for, and it's quite an uplifting thought. Those of you who have read 1984 by George Orwell, MOT stands for Ministry of Truth. And guess what? We are doing Moments of Truth today. So, how does this work? Moments of Truth is simply a discussion, a candid and honest assessment of how the club is doing in various respects. So you would be seeing few breakout rooms, and these breakout rooms correspond to one specific area. Those areas are first impressions, membership orientation, fellowship, variety and communication, program planning and meeting organization, membership strength, and achievement recognition. Roughly, these functions correspond primarily to one particular slot in the executive committee, but that's not necessary. There's a lot of overlap, and that's natural because all of us have to work hand in hand in order to make the club successful. So what will happen is that we will be broken into separate breakout rooms according to the areas assigned. And then in each breakout room, we will be, first of all, designating a note taker who actually records whatever is happening in the meeting. Then we will move on to the various criteria in each of the category. For example, in the first impression, which I'm supposed to conduct, the criteria is guests greeted warmly and introduced to officers and members. And we will rate each of the criteria on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being the least satisfactory or not being met at all, and 5 being we always meet the standard. So 1 is we never meet the standard, and 5 is we always meet the standard, and 2, 3, and 4 are various shades in between these two extremes. Now, after that, after we have gone through all the areas one by one, we will determine the score for each area. We will arrive at a score, and we will be coming up with suggestions and ideas to address the areas which score 3 or lower. So that is the priority. Of course, ideas can also be applied to the areas which score 4 or 5, because there's always room for improvement. But our priority will be to come up with ideas and suggestions to mitigate those weaknesses or shortcomings that we see that resulted in some of the areas being scored. After that, the recommendations will be compiled and we will be back to the main room. So I hope I've got it right.
It sounds excellent. It sounds beautifully expressed, better than I could imagine.
Thank you so much. So I believe that now we get assigned to the respective breakout rooms.
Already done. Are we ready to open the rooms?
Yes, I believe.
Do you
Alright.
have Tilly Fine in a room?
She would
She's a
be,
guest.
she would probably stay in room 1 as a guest.
Okay, very good.
She's fine. Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, goodbye.
And those of you assigned to first impressions, don't worry, because there's no room for us. This is our room. And rest of the assignees go to other rooms. All right. let me send a message to all right. I believe we have our room with us. And the first thing I'd request is if you guys could maybe turn on your screens, it would be lovely, if possible. Secondly, I'll have to ask someone to be a note taker. Okay. Toastmaster Muiz, can you volunteer to be a note taker for this meeting? Hello, am I audible? All right. All right. So, all right. Okay. All right. So, no worries. I think the note taking can be done by me as well. Just give me a second. Let me open the presentation. Presentation is already open, and we have the handout as well. All right. Let me open a note-taking app. All right. So let's start. Guest Yusuf, have you been to our club previously, or this is your first visit?
Yeah, I've been, but I've never been like how to manage the time. Is that my first meeting?
Okay, this is your first meeting with us?
No, it's not my first meeting, but
All
it's
right.
my first time to be. Yeah.
All right, that's wonderful. So that means that you'll be able to provide us with excellent feedback regarding the criteria that we need to meet, right? So we are just starting, and okay, we have the first impressions thing, and yeah. All right, so we have we have about 10 minutes to come up with the recommendations. All right, so what I'll be doing is I'll be displaying a slide. Toastmaster Muiz, you are here with us, or you're still away? All right, no worries. So what we'll do is, okay, guest Yusuf, on a
Yes.
scale of 1 to 5, where 1 being never and 5 being excellent, right? How do we score this club? How does this score on guests greeted warmly and introduced to officers and members?
Okay, if I understand the question, would you like me to introduce myself?
No. Let me repeat the question, not to worry. All right. So we have this criteria for our club, right? Whether guests are greeted warmly, right? And so you have been a guest in our club. So were you greeted warmly And were you introduced properly?
Yeah, I do.
All right. So if you had to grade us in that criteria, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best, how would you grade us? If you had to score us.
Yeah, it's good. And when I am in the room, everything is good, and I can talk freely,
Right.
and I can
And you're
enter.
and do you feel welcome? Do you feel valued?
Yeah, I feel I
All
am
right.
welcome, and the people don't judge me. And even
Right.
though I tell my country, they don't say bad
Right.
things about my country. Yeah,
Right.
it's like I am in my with friends or family.
That's excellent. That's an excellent insight. Because see, our club is a worldwide club and we absolutely do not judge people. And I'm so happy to hear that your experience is the same. All right. So you will, so what will be your score? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in this particular regard?
Yeah, it's 5. 5.
5. All right. Thank you so much. All right. The second criteria is guest book and name tags provided. Now, this used to happen when we had physical meetings, right? Now everything is online. So, were you, when you first joined, were you actually asked to ask your name and to get yourself registered in the guest book?
Yeah, like they tell me to tell my name and to put mine in
Mhm.
the chat and my country
Right,
also. Yeah, and I did it.
right.
Yeah.
All right. And did you also become a part of the WhatsApp group for guests?
Yeah, like I am in the same group with Santia. So when the meeting comes, so she send the meeting every time, and
All right. But
this is why I'm
all
here.
right. Okay. So what's that group called? What's the name of that group?
The group, it's let me. It's 1 minute. I will check it now.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Take your time.
The group is storytelling on English practice.
All right. So this is the only group that you're part of, right? Associated with
Yeah,
the okay.
with Santia. Yeah.
Right. Fine. So we can put I think we did well here. So I think we can score a 4 here.
Yeah,
Is that
4 is
okay?
good. Yeah.
All right. Great. Thank you so much. All right. Guest. Oh, sorry. Toastmaster Luis, are you there? Are you back? All right. We'll wait for him to come back, and meanwhile we go through our question. All right. So professionally arranged meeting room. Now, this is also something that used to happen when we had physical meetings. Now you see everything is online. So how professional you find the setup? Do you find the setup good? The technical thing, the connection, the arrangement, do you find everything good? And is it inviting and attractive to you?
Yeah, like to do it online, it's good because we are not in the same country and we cannot move
Right.
physically. So to do it online, so we can meet together, we can talk like about many things. I think it's very good
Right.
because people need it a lot, and sometimes also you cannot find it. It's not very easy to be with a professional people, and I think
Right.
it's a good thing. Yeah.
That's a very good point. So it provides you with an opportunity to connect with professional people, right? So that's a great advantage of Toastmasters, by the way. So
Exactly.
yeah, and so and as far as the technical setup is concerned, you find it adequate, right?
Yeah, it's good.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's fine. Sometimes also the hour, like it's very not very suitable for me. And maybe when I am in
Right.
bed, so you are connecting with people, and I cannot
All right.
wake up.
Right. So which country you're from?
Mauritania.
Mauritania. And what time is it there right now?
Now it's 6 p.m. now.
6 p.m. So
Yeah,
this
6
time
p.m.
is convenient for you, I guess.
Yeah, this time is good for me. It's good for me.
But the other meeting time, that would
Yeah.
be inconvenient, right? Yeah, because see,
Other
you're
meeting.
5 hours behind, so that means that when the other meeting starts at our time is 6 a.m., so it would be 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. in the morning for you, and that is not a convenient time, right? So yeah, but
Yeah.
this particular time is good for you, right?
Yeah, this is good. And the other one is very difficult for me.
Yeah. I understand. So, all right. So this is excellent input. Let me just. All right, we have Curtis Reeves with us. Hello, Toastmaster Curtis. How are you doing? So let's move on to the next criteria. I think we have answered it. Meeting location is convenient for you, right? Because it is online. So that's what makes it convenient. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's convenient for me as well because I live in Pakistan. So I cannot come to the USA to attend the meeting.
Yes.
Toastmaster Curtis, can you hear me?
Good morning, good afternoon, Toastmaster Talent.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm going well, thank you very much. Just join you very quickly while I'm at work.
All right. Great. So we'll appreciate if you could just provide us with a little bit of feedback as well. We were going with our guest Yusuf over these moments of truth points one by one. And we'd gotten to, all right. So we got into the next point, guest Yusuf. Are the guests invited to, do you get the opportunity to speak when you join?
Not very, because I am a guest and I just have to listen to people. And
Yeah,
also my
but you
English
get
is
to.
not. Yeah,
Don't be
like
concerned about the English. See, don't be
Yeah.
concerned about the English.
Okay.
But you do get to introduce yourself, right? You always
Yeah.
get to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I
And
get to
in the
introduce
end
myself.
too, yeah. And in the end too, you are asked to convey your thoughts about the meeting, right?
Yeah, and listening also is very important for me.
Right.
And I
Exactly.
introduce also myself.
So so you do get an opportunity to speak in the beginning and in the end, and that's very important to us because we should provide the guest opportunity to speak. So how do you think we do on this count, Toastmaster Curtis?
Can you repeat again, please?
No, actually, I'm asking the Toastmaster Curtis, who is with us in the room. I'm asking him the same question. Can you hear? If you can't talk, can you give feedback in the chat box? Oh, we have 3 minutes. All right, we should move to the last question. So we score a 5. All right, guest invited to join. So Toastmaster Yusuf, guest Yusuf, have you been as yet invited to formally become a member of the club?
Not invited, but Santia told me if you would like to be at time, like to manage the time, so you are welcome to join us. But I was
All
very
right.
busy with my study, so I couldn't.
All right, but you were invited. You were invited, right?
Yeah.
But you were told that if you can manage the time, then all right. All right, that's good enough. That's good enough because we always have to take the time into consideration. So,
Exactly.
all right, Toastmaster Muiz, do we have you with us? Toastmaster Luis, are you there? All right. Toastmaster Curtis, are you able to provide short feedback on these points? All right. So, okay, let me end this session since we are about to be kicked out of the breakout room. Let me end this session by asking Yusuf, how would you rate your experience with our club on a scale of, if you have to score between 1 and 5? How would you score us?
Yeah, 5, and because it's very good. So
That's
you meet
very kind of.
people, yeah, and professional
And
people. It's not a simple people.
you think, right? And do you think that we can, do you have something in mind which can make us even better?
Yeah,
Any
maybe
suggestion, any idea? Yeah.
for example, to talk about a topic and to discuss about it.
Sorry,
think-
talk about?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like to have a topic, a general topic, like what we live nowadays, to have as a topic and to discuss about it. So how to resolve the problem, and maybe
All right,
when
so you
when
want,
yeah, like a
so,
topic.
all right.
Yeah.
Which is, okay, so you want sessions or topics where you're given an opportunity to discuss and resolve problems. So what kind of
Yeah,
problems?
exactly. Like for example, nowadays we live like people are facing a problem like a money, like financial problems. So it's very good to talk about it, how to manage the problem.
Ah,
Or,
right.
like what we live nowadays, it's very important to talk about it.
Right. So you say, all right. I understand. I think that's an excellent suggestion. So you think that we should receive more guidance on personal help and improvement to address life situations such as money management, and there might be other areas, right? So okay, I've noted that, Yusuf, but if you keep attending this club meeting, you will receive guidance on many topics. So yeah, that's an excellent suggestion. So I think so we are gradually we have 30 seconds to close. All right. Toastmaster Muiz, have you come back?
Actually, we've closed the rooms.
All right. Fine. So the rooms are closed. So
They should
All
all
right.
be here soon.
yeah, now about 9 seconds. Great.
That's good. Tala, it was 3 minutes and 22 seconds. So I gave them the 3 minutes, and that way they could skate for 22 seconds.
I dropped off. Can you please send me back to my room, number 5?
No, we closed the room, Cynthia.
Oh,
We're done.
oh, okay. I didn't see the message. Is everyone back?
Hang on.
I believe everyone's back.
Yes.
All right. So I believe now the group leaders, they will recap what happened in the breakup room one by one. And correct me if I'm wrong, the time allotted to each is 2 minutes, Mr. Timer.
Yes,
it's 2
and I'll
minutes.
raise my hand
Yeah.
again.
All right. So I will start. And we had a couple of guests, although one of the guests could not really interact. because they were kind of busy. So we had one guest, and he's one of the more recent guest Yusuf. So it was an enlightening experience. We discussed all the criteria of how to manage the first impression of the club. I'm glad to report that in all the criteria, we received either 4 or 5, and only in one criteria I judged that our score would be 3, and that is only because for this particular guest, he can attend this particular session, but the other stream of meetings is highly inconvenient for them in terms of timing, since they live in Africa. So, it's like an ungodly time there for the evening session for Leaders Worldwide. They were very, very happy with the experience. They told me that they feel welcome. They feel that this is a place where people do not judge them. They're not judged because of their background, because of their country, because of their social status. And furthermore, something really proud for all of us. They love the fact that it is online, so people from all over the world can join without any cost. And it is an excellent place to connect with professional people. So congratulations, everyone. All of us are deemed professional by a very fresh guest. He loved the experience, and he also confirmed that they do get a chance to speak, chance to address the club in the beginning and in the end of the meeting. They did get to sign the guest book, the virtual guest book, and also they were made part. One improvement area would be that, if they were made part of our official guest group as well, it would be better. Because right now they are in a group that is headed by one of our members. And in that group also, all the updates about the meetings go out. But perhaps if they can be enrolled into the guest group. And one more improvement area was that if they can have discussions and guidance on various issues, life issues, such as financial management, such as dealing with difficult people. So I told them that while this suggestion is excellent and it's noted, but if you attend enough meetings, you will receive precious guidance on all these topics if you keep attending meetings. So this was my report for the first impressions. And now I will invite Michelle for membership orientation.
You're muted, Michelle.
I got
You're
it.
muted.
I got it. So I did members orientation with 2 guests, not 2 guests, 2 members who are very, very new members. And we discussed first formal induction. And of course, we just did that last week. So we got a good check on that. We got a 5 on that. Assignment of mentor. Cynthia has been their mentor. I don't know whether she was formally assigned or not, but there is not any better mentor than Cynthia when it comes to learning how to do Toastmasters, and they really enjoy and appreciate her input. Got 5 for assignment, educational program and recognition. They got 5. Learning needs assessed. They got a 5. Discussed accommodations for members with the disabilities. They felt like they had just begun to touch that in terms of talking about timing for people who might be visually impaired. So they gave that more of a 3. Speaking roles, one of them gave a 5, the other one gave a 4. So that's all pretty good, mainly because one of them hasn't done speaking yet. And then finally, members involved in club activities. We got 1, 2 to 3, and the other one 5. The suggestion they made was that chocolates are good. They like the closure at the end and the wrap up of the meeting, but could we switch the food choice? And I thought that was a really good suggestion. I also asked them in addition how long they would want the mentorship to last. And basically they said, as long as our mentor is willing to give us mentorship. And I said, I agree, because she's still my mentor. And that's my report. Back to you, Tala, coordinator whatever, facilitator, that's it.
Is Tala
Thank you.
here?
Yeah, of course I am here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now we move on to our third group leader, Toastmaster Gary Howell. Over to you, Gary.
Our group was myself and Carolyn Douglas, and we talked about the items in this particular area. And one was guests greeted warmly, and we gave that a 4 because there's always room for a little bit of improvement. For enjoyable educational meetings, we gave that a 5 because of the quality of the keynote speakers we've had. The people who are giving speeches really do follow the pathways format and really are knowledgeable about the topics that they speak about. The next one is regularly scheduled social events. And we gave that a 3, and we came up because it's been a little different since we're a totally virtual club as opposed to having some in-person type meetings. But one of the suggestions is that before the actual meeting starts, we could have a guest room for the guests along with the facilitator that could explain what they can expect, what's going on while everyone else is getting ready for the actual meeting. So that was a wonderful suggestion by Carolyn. The next is participation in area district and international events. And we gave that a 5 because as a club, we have done very well in that area. Next is inter-club events. We gave that a 4 because we have done very well in having joint meetings internationally, and a lot of the work that Cynthia has done to put all that together, and looking to maybe expand that to other district clubs that we may be able to participate with. And then the final one is a club newsletter and or website updated regularly. And that is something that we gave ourselves a 3 because we don't have a website yet. However, it's something that we're looking as a club to hopefully get that, come up with a solution for that this year. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Gary. I will request all the group leaders to put the recommendations only in the chat box so that we can conveniently recap them at the end. I will do the same.
Let's have an email instead, because we're going to need to follow up on that officially. So if you can email our secretary, which is Michelle Peticolas, that'd be great.
All right. That's wonderful. All right. So next we have the ever popular, ever active. I wonder when does she speak? Our VP Education, Kathleen Peel. Over to you.
Thank you, Talha. Thank you for being such a bright light in our club. This is, let's see, I forget. I didn't put the category, but anyway, the items are program and agenda publicized in advance. We gave it a 4 because we get it out, we get this publicized to the general public and to the members about the day before. There is certainly room to improve, so we gave it a 4, and the reason is officers don't run like clockwork. I just put more on that later because I only have a couple of minutes. Second item, members are prepared to carry out all program assignments. We gave it a 4.5 because there's just a little bit of room for more buy-in and responsibility from all members to answer the requests from the agenda and to know their job and carry it from there. So more on that later. Item 3, all projects are from Pathways, got a 5. Number 4, meetings begin and end on time. We gave it a 5 because we are always within a couple of minutes of the clock striking the hour. Then creative table topics and activities. We gave it a 4. There's always room for more. We do beautifully, we have fun, and there's always room for mo better. So that's something where we can really give our attention. And the last item, positive and helpful evaluations. We gave it a 4 because we meet the Toastmasters International Standard. We meet the criteria in the evaluations, but the lid can come off the box and genius can come in, and that's where we belong. Oh, so that we can bring in fresh insights, new ways to look at a speech, tweak your organization, make your ideas more impactful, et cetera, And we wondered if the group could really focus in on the power of evaluations and how the group could study the art and the skills of evaluations. Back to you, Mr. Facilitator.
Thank you so much. That was an education on how to manage the education and meeting organization of a club. Wonderful insights. I believe that these will be valuable for each and every one, even if they're not part of the executive committee of this club. Next, we move to the 5th group leader, membership strength, Marlon Terrier. Over to you, sir.
And Marlon, I took notes. Did you want me to speak on it or did you want to?
Marlon, are you there?
You know, Cynthia, when Hugh and I talked before the meeting, that's the impression I got.
Okay.
That he would ask the note taker to.
Okay.
speak.
So I've got some notes. We weren't able to finish. Did other people have trouble finishing? I think next time we should take some more time.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So club has 20 or more members. We did a 5 on that. We've got about 35 members. Members retained, we gave ourselves like a 3.5 because we have retained about the amount that Toastmasters International expects, which is 40% attrition rate, but we could do better, especially with the survey for members about what they're interested in, what kind of profession they're in and hobbies they're in, so that we can serve them better. And I think we should also ask them if they're interested in the TED Talks and if that's something they're going to participate in. Then promotions in clubs, organization, or community, we did pretty good with that. We said we were a 4 because we promote on Facebook, we promote on WhatsApp. We have a really good announcement of our meetings because we always have at least 3 members, which is pretty phenomenal for any club, especially these days. Then club programs are varied and exciting. We got, there was a discrepancy. Victor thought we were 2. I thought we were more of a 3, and Marlon voted 3. So I think we're about, well, I think we all agree that we could have better speeches, and I'm hoping better with that. And Victor particularly wanted more stories about their life, not about how you do things, but more stories about their sponsoring new members recognized. We have the 3 new members we recently had. 2 of them were by Seema Giri. So we recognize
Cynthia, you're breaking
for
up. You may
that
need to
in
turn your video off.
And also she's got the red card.
Leaders Worldwide recognition of that. We'll do that when SEMA regular membership building programs. Yes. Okay, and we do that quite well with the Speechcraft. And then recently, we've got 3 new members. We're going to have a 4th with SEMA. Back to you, Tala.
Thank you so much for that beautiful recap. And yes, we definitely do need more time for these recaps. Anyhow, moving on, we move on to the 6th group leader, achievement recognition. Madam Linda Patton, over to you.
Thank you, Tala, so very much. Shane and I basically talked more about what we could do to make some changes in speeches and that kind of some of what Cynthia has been talking about as far as style and help and all of that. However, we gave achievement recognition overall a 3. However, if you look at the breakout, progress charts displayed and maintained, we don't do that. Member achievement recognized with ceremony, we don't do that, and that may not be a big deal, not sure. Club, district, international leaders are recognized. We gave ourselves a 4. Club and member achievement are publicized, a 2. We have, unless we're sending out some kind of an email, we don't have a newsletter any longer, so it doesn't necessarily happen. And the DCP is used for planning and recognition. Absolutely. We are tied to the DCP. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, thank you so much. So we are behind schedule here. We were supposed to finish this by about 5 minutes ago. So I'll just super quickly recap and then hand over to the Toastmaster of the day. The recommendation, first of all, from the first area, that is the first impressions, we are doing pretty well. And yeah, I'm a testament to that, because if the first impressions weren't that great, I wouldn't be here as well. So, and it's so great to see that that is maintained. The club is exceptionally great towards the guests and being inviting to guests. A little bit more, a little bit of a suggestion that we should have more content about guiding people through their real life situations, and that is well noted. We already do that. Anybody who attends enough meetings will surely see that. Secondly, we had membership orientation, and yes, we are also doing quite well in that. Here and there are gaps, temporary gaps in assigning mentors and everything, but overall, we do a good job. And also recently, I've been seeing that through emails, we've also been sending agenda, which is excellent, because one thing that we Toastmasters don't seem to realize is that the Toastmasters agenda is an undecipherable mess to someone who's completely new to it. And no matter how well we explain it, they take few weeks to figure it out. Moving on to fellowship, variety, and communication, we are doing mostly well in most of the criterias. Program planning and meeting organization, again, absolutely fantastic recap of the situation. And membership strength, we have regular influx of guests and members, which is a blessing, as said by DTM Cynthia, that especially in these circumstances, to have consistent guests and new members is absolutely fantastic. And finally, achievement recognition, where it turned out that yes, we can do more. For one thing, we can just easily create flyers to recognize achievements and put it on our Facebook and everywhere else, and that will be a big step. So overall, Leaders Worldwide remains an excellent club content-wise. We could do, we cover all the basics very well. It's only in the aspirational areas where sometimes somewhere there are gaps where we need to be and versus where we actually are. And that's the life of a club. We should always have something higher to aspire to. And that is pretty much it. So everyone, absolutely fantastic job with the Moments of Truth. I think we are much richer and much more learned about our club and how a Toastmaster club should be managed after this session. So with that, I hand over the charge back to our Toastmaster for today.
Being muted, no music. Okay, great. Let's give Tyler a great big round of applause
Woohoo!
for being the facilitator. I want to point out, I want to add something before we go to our break. And that is the moment of truth is basically like taking the club's temperature and see how things are and giving an accurate assessment of it. And you can measure the 6 moments that we talk about in the Moments of Truth, but there's one little thing that really separates the good clubs from the great clubs, from the clubs that you want to scream about and become a raving fan about. Those pesky little things that I call nuances. Man, nuances is life, man. I'm telling you, because it's really difficult to explain a nuance, but you feel it more than you can talk about it. Moving along to our next portion on the agenda, beginning for our 5 minutes of silence. Roll the timer, start right now, giving 5 minutes. Take yourself a break. We'll be back shortly.
Actually, it's Cynthia. You want to say something? I just saw your hand. Apologies.
Yeah, I just forgot to add the one thing that we really came up with that we really need to do better on. We all voted it a 3, and that was mentorship. And I'm mentoring 3 new members right now. Victor is mentoring 1 member. Marlon's definitely going to mentor one of our members, Carrie Kelly. But both of them can take up to 3 mentors. So I'll get with Kathleen and let her know that, because I think we really need to have all of our members that need mentors need to have one. And that's really, really an important thing. And that is something that we've relied more on our Speechcraft to do. And I think we can do a better job on that on individual mentorship. Thanks.
Back to break. See you in 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, consider this a break, but yes, I will take what Cynthia said, and we all, myself included, need to step up whenever there's a mentor needed. And I will suggest that what happens is that in our club, whenever a new member joins, we have a separate WhatsApp group for mentors. So I will strictly advise against that, because but what can happen is that in the club's main group, Kathleen or anyone else, they can float a message that we have this new member and who would like to volunteer to be their mentor. So that really gets a fast response, and we basically ensure. And even if a member is about to sign up, even then we can assign them a mentor. It's like we don't need to wait for their name to turn up on the dashboard, because that will happen when they make the payment and everything. But sometimes, even when a guest, they are offered to be assigned a mentor, they sign up like that because they're looking for guidance. And the agenda and the speeches and pathway, they're appearing too complicated for them. But as soon as they hear that you'll be, because this is what I do actually, as soon as you sign up, you'll be assigned a mentor, and boom, like this is something that really converts them. So we can work on that, and I believe that our VP Education, please feel free to approach us, any of us, for mentorship, because yes, we all need to step up towards that.
Oh, and I wanted to mention that I did put the WhatsApp group in the chat for guests. So we invite all our guests to join that WhatsApp group.
Yeah, Victor, you can start singing now.
All right, it's been about 5 minutes.
Well, according to the agenda, we are moving into table topics. And since the time is up and I'm really good at following an example, I am going to introduce the next player that's going to be in charge of the virtual lectern. That person is a Toastmaster, is a professional speaker, has a company of her own which she teaches people to be professional speakers and to design their speech. And as I've said so many times, has a very appealing voice if you have to listen to somebody for a long time. So hopefully you'll think what I think when you hear her moderate this part of our table topics, which is impromptu speaking. She's gonna tell you what that is, and she's gonna give you a chance to do something about it. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fellow Toastmasters and visitors, guests, help me welcome to the virtual lectern none other than Sheena Walker. Let's give it up for Sheena Walker.
Woohoo. Oh, that was very nice. Thank you so much, Victor. I just put a piece of chocolate in my mouth. Oops. Okay. After listening to the MOT, and as Victor said earlier, an MOT is about what you get done to your car to make it go faster, super, and just be at top speed. And I guess when you have an MOT of what we're doing here, it's about how can we excel? How can we be engaging, entertaining, and be different? So I'd like to go around and ask some questions. Caitlin actually gave me permission to do things differently. So if you don't like how I do things, you can blame, not Caitlin, Kathleen. So what I'd like to do is very quickly go around the room. In 10 seconds, if each person tells me what their area of specialism is in speaking, in less than 10 seconds, okay? Right, Victor, start with you.
You starting with me?
Yes.
Mindset management.
Okay. Talha? Quick.
Morbid humor and science.
Okay. Carolyn? Carolyn?
No thought. No thought.
No thought.
No thought.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll come back to that. Rowan,
Wait, sorry, what was the question one more time?
what was your area of specialism in speaking? Do you have an area that you're extra good at or would like to be extra good at?
Probably engaging the audience.
Okay. Could we actually speak loud? We're speakers. So can we speak loud and clear and so we can all hear? That would be brilliant. Gary. You have to unmute yourself.
Consistency and persistence.
Is that a skill?
Yes, it's more the main message.
Right, okay. Alpana?
Visual storytelling and connection.
Oh, 10 out of 10 for being slick and quick. Kathleen?
I guess they fit it under human potential.
Human potential. Thank you. Michelle?
Life change and transformation.
And what's the skill in transformation? Have you got a specific skill?
Oh, I can, I'm a body whisperer. I can tell where your blocks are.
A body whisperer, love that. Okay. Varun?
May I know the question, please?
Yes.
May I know the question, please?
What's your area of specialism?
Storytelling.
What is it?
Storytelling.
Storytelling. Cynthia?
Speaking and storytelling. I'm also a whisperer of sorts. I'm an Reiki master and theta healing practitioner. So I do inner work as well.
Okay, thank you. Marlon?
Let me think. Visual aids, storytelling, humor, gesticulation, and props.
Okay. I hope I've not left anybody out. We've got lots of areas of specialism, so thinking about all of that, let me ask Talha, how could we add some of these areas of specialism into evaluations?
All right, thank you so much. So my areas of specialty were science and morbid humor. I'm not sure whether it's a good idea to include morbid humor into evaluations, but there's nothing stopping us from making the evaluations entertaining and little speeches in their own right. Although I would caution against one thing, especially if you're doing an evaluation in the club. Sometimes what we do as an evaluator, we fall into the trap of falling so much in love with our own voice that we start focusing on our own evaluation speech, whereas our focus should be on the speaker, because they are listening to us for feedback on their speech. So Yes, and as far as science is concerned, I believe that yes, there's a mathematics to every speech. There's a structure, for example, an opening, a middle, and then there are transitions in between, and it all needs to fit into neat boxes within 5 to 7 minutes. So a little bit of organization, especially compartmentalizing your ideas and putting them in bullet points, or maybe creating boxes around them or diagrams, that works wonders for a speech. So yes, we should definitely recommend that to the speakers, especially those speakers whose ideas sometimes appear to not be optimized in a sequence. Rather, they appear random to us. They're not creating as much of an impact versus if what they would if they were put in a clearer logical order. So yes, there's a definite place for science in evaluations. I'm not sure about morbid humor. It depends upon the speaker. Perhaps if their speech did have some morbid humor, then yes, putting some more into our evaluation would be a good strategy. Over to you, David Topics class.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think that what I'm hearing is we've got lots of people in the room that have got great areas of specialism, topics and expertise. And I think going forward, we could be using them slightly different and helping people more with these areas of specialism. I think that would be a good idea. Sally, could I ask you a question? Would that be okay?
Yes.
Out of what we've spoken about tonight about MOT, what's the one thing that you would like to see very different? Your own personal opinion. I know we've heard six rooms speak, but what's been discussed? What would you like that could make a huge difference? Where do you see a gap?
Well, we were just earlier talking about specialization, and many people are not revealing the secret things they do very well. So I would really look forward to having an expose of have some people have a very special talent and could share that with others. And I think that's important because you formulate a picture of a person, not just by the speeches and the information they're struggling with, but what do they do like a doctor? And I don't mean a doctor, but that kind of real insight to the whole personality and teach us something that we don't even notice.
Yes.
So I really do appreciate seeing people around what they're doing. And I love to see them learning as I am how to be warm. Carolyn is wonderful. I remember Carolyn when she gave a speech on a simple poem like The Little Engine That Could, and she was experimenting with how to use her body in extreme methods, and it was wonderful, and it stayed with you forever. Except it did stay with me forever. And I think those kinds of stretches that are almost absurd become absolutely hilarious, enjoyable, and we're not getting a pinch of what people do well. We're looking at their PhD in something, but there's all those other areas I want to know about.
Thank you, Sally. I think that was a really insightful, comprehensive answer that, you know, you used the word talent quite a few times. And so talent and specialism, these are two words that we don't use so much, but we should be using them to make people feel special.
Yes.
So that's really, really important. What I'd like to ask, I'm going to go back to Carolyn, because she gave me quite a vague answer when I asked her what her area of specialism was. What did you say to me, Carolyn?
I said no thought. And I said no thought. And that was primarily because over the past 2 years, it seems like when I have been asked to be a guest speaker or keynote speaker, I ask, what would you like for me to speak on?
Yeah.
And someone would say, oh, I really don't have an idea. I'll let you know a theme.
Yeah, I get that. So,
and
okay,
sure enough, by the time I receive what that could be and I create this talk, this is the absolute truth. I have sat in conventions, conferences, online summits, and I've had people to speak before me, sharing everything that it was in my written out speech to share. So I'm there with, oh my goodness, what am I going to talk about? And I have really been sitting in that space saying, okay, God, all right, I know there is an infinite intelligence in the universe, and I know something inspirational has to come through. So seriously, when that thought hits me of what to talk about, what to share, I have to fly by that inward knowledge of whatever it is that I already know about. And I do my best to relate to the audience. This is why, as Sally was talking earlier, improv and using body language becomes so important, and having vocal variety to create this thing for people to pay attention. One of the techniques that I was taught a long time ago was go over here, go over there to see whether or not people are following you. So yes, for the past 2 years, no thought has been the leading
and I think
subject
that
matter.
there's another, there's another conversation to be had there, because I think it's really good if you become known for speaking about a certain topic. It's quite good if people recognize you for that. Okay, Victor, Mr. Jenkins, let's, I'm not going to ask you about singing. I'd like to ask you about education, Victor, and education that, you know, covers many areas. And I've been working with a girl and she keeps talking about being in your zone of genius. And I think that's a brilliant phrase. And I think we could start to use being in your zone of genius. So tell me, Victor, what does being in your zone of genius mean to you, but how could we use it in the club? You have to go unmuted. Victor, you unmute yourself?
Holy cow, what happened?
What's happening is you're being taught patience. My zone of genius is actually self-management. What occurs to me is from time to time, and it's much less than what it used to be, I run into someone or I interact with someone that rubs me the wrong way, And it happens very seldom. But over the course of time, in the vein of self-management, I've come to realize that whenever I meet someone that rubs me the wrong way, there's a reason for it. And that reason most often is that the thing about that person that's annoying me is also true about me to other people. I think that is a universal concept. And I think that if you will examine the people that you have difficulty with, or examine the people that you think don't resonate with you, and actually take a long, hard look inside, because what's inside of you generally shows up on the outside of you just by the nature of how everything has an equal and opposite reaction. You can become a much better person, a much more effective leader if you are not triggered by things that happen outside of you. And when you meet someone that sort of rubs you the wrong way, that can be a trigger. When you're hurt, it's really difficult to be your best self because you are managing the hurt rather than delivering what it is you were meant to being delivered. So my area of genius is being able to manage myself to the degree that it's difficult to trigger me. And if it's difficult to trigger me, I have more time that I can actually deliver what it is I've got. Because in my mind, I think I've got good stuff and I'm just waiting to lay it on anybody that I can. Thank you for asking me that question.
Thank you, Victor.
Perfect question.
One of the things about being in your zone of genius is allow me to share, is having amazing concentration and amazing intention linked to a skill gives great results. So concentration, intention, a skill, and managing to maintain that and practice it on a daily basis. You then work in your own zone. So it's quite a good way to start thinking, like for all of us. Okay, Michelle, may I ask you a question, Michelle? What do you think about, there's an awful lot now about intelligence and innovation and creativity, and we would like to implement that, have that in how we think and speak here. How could we, as we do an MOT and round the table, how could we be more innovative and creative in our club?
That is such a wonderful question. Being innovative and creative is something I'm really exploring in my own life, which is how can I stimulate that creativity, because creativity is the #1 step to coming up with new ideas and innovations. It is the one way in which we stay fresh, and innovation is also the closest connection we can get to the divine. So it is definitely the way that we want to go. So how can we increase that creativity in our club? Well, one of those ways is with table topics and coming up with really, really exciting new ideas for asking questions and getting people to think outside their usual boxes. The other way is for more speakers to step up and say, okay, how can I do this differently? How can I make this more interesting? How can I go beyond the usual approach to this particular speech that I have to give? And as each of us individually do that, we are going to inspire other people to do that in the same way. So those are the two ways that I can see that are going to be the best, is to encourage that. And then, when we're giving a speech craft or we're a mentor, is again to invite our mentees to think in new and creative ways, because that's where the juice is. That's where the excitement is. That's where the fun is. So table topics, putting creativity into your own speech, doing something different. So for example, I have to give a speech on, what do I have to give a speech on? Oh, communicating, a communication plan. Originally, I was going to just give the old, what did I do to promote an event I was doing? But I have changed it completely, and you'll have to come to heart to hear what it is, but it is going to be very, very different. Back to you, Sheena.
Oh, thank you so much. It's interesting now, because I think what I had hoped to happen tonight when I did this was that I would understand a little bit more about what everybody did and understand how they thought and how they could share. Because the basis of influential conversations is to have different conversations, not just little sentences or what you want people to hear, but actually have these influential conversations that people think, wow, that was meaningful. That was really meaningful. And we've heard that. How are we doing for time? Who's the timer? How are we doing?
I'm the timer, and
Is
I
okay?
think
You are right about at the 12:25
Yeah.
mark, which should be the VPE now. So you're done, unfortunately.
Right, so that's it. So Victor's telling me get noted, get lost now. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing and contributing. Thank you. Back to Toastmaster Victor.
Okay, let's give her a great big round of applause. That was engaging, fun, and I am not muted. According to the agenda, the next item on the agenda is actually the Vice President of Education. Let's hear it for, all together now, Mrs. Peel, Kathleen Peel.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster extraordinaire. While I get to, I had just gotten out of the screen I wanted to share. Here we are. We've had a brilliant meeting where we could really hear each other and bring out that genius that you've been talking about. The best way to do that is to reduce the noise in the system, increase harmony and clarity so that we can hear each other and bring out our genius. And we, fortunately for us, we have a beautiful tool to do that so that all of our work operations are smooth and systematized in our club administration website, which you see in front of you. All of you know how to log in. So this screen is the home screen. And if you can't log in, let's get together so that you know how to log in every time. On the home page, right here, every time I want to, I know how to register for the upcoming meeting. I don't need to wait. I don't need to ask. There it is, right in my club administration website. That's very important. Then I want to share the menu bar and just 2, maybe 3 drop downs in the menu bar. First is the meetings bar with all those drop downs. Second is my participation. And then also in this club, if you drop down to the user list, that is where we find the, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Are you able to follow where I went?
Yep.
So this is the user list where we can email each other. And the way we email, it's protected a bit so that when I want to send an email to Carolyn, it goes through the website. I don't see her actual email address until she responds to me and offers me her email address. That is for security. So I'm going to go back to the meetings drop down where I see down here is always the 4th item on the drop down is always going to be the next upcoming meeting. That's always going to be whatever is coming up next Monday. And above it is the previous Monday, the agenda for the previous Monday. At the very top is the calendar for the entire month that we're in. Below that is the entire calendar for the upcoming month and the month after that. So this meetings drop down is very important. We go there the most. Then is the next very important drop down is my participation. Drop down to sign up for meetings. And I think you all see this, is that correct?
Yep.
Very good. Now, look at this. In this leftmost column are all the important rows. So confirm attendance is the top row. And then to the right are the upcoming meetings. So when I confirm attendance, I let the VPE know what she has to work with. Am I coming? Am I not? And it's also always good to remember if I said I was not coming and that hour has opened up for me, change my status so that the VPE knows what's up. Same with if I find an appointment and I can't come, let the VPE know. Second row, now here's a very important button for you. This is where you request a speech, because that's going to open up a pop-up window and I'll have to stop share and start again. I'm going to wait for later for that. But here, down here in the general evaluator role, I look across and I see, oh, I can accept the general evaluator role or the evaluator role or the whatnot. I can go down here and I can engage. I can reduce noise in the system. I can increase harmony and clarity. I can engage more. I can offer my genius more by cleaning up the system, speeding up the system, making it so that we move faster, there's less work for any single individual and more real satisfying work in all the participants, all the members. Now I'm going to go to this request a speech button. I'll stop share. And share again. And here is where I hit every tab. This is a pop-up window with 3 tabs. In each tab, I have to enter the title. For instance, in the speech tab, I have to enter the title of my speech. Below that, see that nice big window? That has room for just 1 to 3 sentences to introduce my speech or how you want to see me, introduce myself and my credibility. Then we go to the workbook/speech tab, and this is where I choose the path, and then there is I scroll down and find the particular project, and I use the radio button, and I'm good to go. I go over to the preferred dates, and I select the first choice, the second choice, and the third choice for my speech. And I remember that we have 2 time sections. One is early, one is late, and I want to be sure that I'm selecting the time slot that fits my life. And I must save. I see the top, at the top right, the little button that says save. I must do that, or my work is gone for naught. And so remember, all three tabs must be filled. And then I'm cooking with gas. If you have any questions about anything, I want to help you. Let's get together. We can work on Zoom together. And you've all been sent out the various slideshows, and this little segment of our meeting, I can send out to anybody who wants it for a review on video of the work. And with that, I don't want to bore you. I just want to encourage you to come forth and harmonize.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Woo!
To reach the impossible dream. That we'll all get it. That's a quick bargain.
Well, moving right along, Mrs. Peel, does that complete your your portion?
Yes, thank you very much for your time.
I want to thank everyone for being great contributors to this meeting. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for participating and making table topics specifically a really fun experience. And now we have come to the end of our program, and it is time to return control of the lectern, to give up the ability to run my mouth to our wonderful, very talented, very capable president, whose name I just like to say. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome back to the lectern, Mr. Taha bin Hamid.
So much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Victor, DT and Victor. And again, it's another miracle. It's 12:39 in my clock, and I was supposed to take over at 12:40. So during the meeting, we ran minutes, like 10, 12 minutes behind, and somehow here we are. So I really need to check the addition and the summation on the agenda. Maybe there's a sorcery. Mrs. Peel is doing some sorcery there, but no matter what she's doing, I will take it because we are back on track, and we've had a spectacular meeting, everyone. And some of the guests that joined initially, they messaged me that, oh my God, you guys are having a moments of truth. I'm not supposed to be there. So I told them that, we have opened our moments of truth to everyone, and they were so impressed. So yeah, this is the way to do it. And, especially my area, the first impressions ones, that's not complete without the input from guests, right? So absolutely fantastic session, everyone. And really, really great learning for all of us as Toastmasters first and club officers second. I'm sure that everybody who attended today's session learned something valuable about the whole Toastmasters experience. So with that, we move on to the most popular segment, or rather, the second or third most popular after the keynote and the table topics, and that is the giveaways. So we'll start with our guests, and today we had our guest. Let's start with guest Yusuf.
Can I
Are you
bring a
there?
point of order, Tala?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
we
sure.
were
sure.
supposed to vote on something today early in the meeting, but it
yes.
didn't happen. So do you want me to propose it, or?
I think you can propose it, and if someone seconds it, we can have a vote.
Okay, so we need to vote on if we're going to allow our members to, we're going to waive the club dues if they pay an annual fee. So they pay for 2 renewal periods. If we're already in a renewal period, so a guest joins, then we would just that renewal period and the next one, because Toastmasters is very limited on allowing us too far out. So like now is August, and we can really only do the next pay period, and then the one after that will be opened in September. So would be waiving the fee if we have them signing up for an annual or almost annual 2 renewal periods. And the reason for that is that we get paid district bucks if we have 20 members. signed up, the first 20 clubs to have 20 members signed up gets paid, and that helps to offset that cost. Plus, we have a lot of international members, and it's hard to get club dues paid for international members. So I propose that for a vote. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right.
Back to you.
So, yeah. So shall we have a poll, or shall we just check if there's anyone who wishes to challenge this? If not, we can consider it approved. Is there anyone who wishes to challenge this? Calling again. Is there anyone who wishes to challenge it? Last time, challenge this or forever hold your peace. All right. So since this proposal is unchallenged, we resolve to dispense with the vote and consider it adopted. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And yes, just to add, just to clarify, this is the practice that the club always had. And club dues are part of the club constitution, but this practice represents a deviation from the original club constitution, right? And any decision that's taken by the executive committee of the club is subject to the approval of its members. And this is for the knowledge of all club officers who are serving anywhere in the world. No matter what decision, that includes each and everything, like contest dates or even rescheduling of meetings or scheduling the induction of new members. Everything that executive committee approves, that needs to be approved by the club members. So thank you so much for bringing that up, Katie and Cynthia. And now we can go to our giveaways. And our first, I'd like to call guest Yusuf. Please share your experience, and then you'll receive a virtual prize. Yes, Yusuf, are you there? All right, we'll come back to you later. We have guest Varun Kumar. Please introduce yourself. Where are you from and how was your experience?
Hello, Talha. Good evening, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon from wherever you are attending. I am joining from Spain, Barcelona, but my home club is based out in Hyderabad, India. Right now it's 9:45 p.m. I have been a member of Toastmasters since last 7 years, but have been recently active due to the pandemic, attending meetings online and all. So that's my introduction. Back to you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you know, Varun actually wrote on a group that is there a meeting happening right now? And I instantly messaged that, you know, you can join us. So thank you for joining. So Varun, as a reward, what would you like if you could have anything to eat in the world right now? What would you like to have? Anything to eat or drink?
Don't make me answer that. I am a chef by profession, but I am from India, so that makes me, and especially since I'm from Hyderabad, the only thing that would come to my mind is Hyderabadi dum biryani. Nothing else would take my mind away.
I'm from Pakistan, and you just did me no favors. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So there you have. I'm throwing a whole cauldron of dum biryani your way, and you know, just catch it. All right. There you go.
My favorite.
And I remember biryani was mentioned in one of the World Championship semifinals by the District 116 contestant.
Which year was it?
Right, this year, just a few days ago. Yeah,
I'll look into it.
Semifinal number 3, maybe, I may be wrong. So yeah, District 116 contestant, she mentioned, and then she asked who likes biryani, and everyone, including the contest chair, raised their hands. So yeah.
No one can sort of biryani, sir. That's for sure.
So next we have a quasi guest. Why do I call her a quasi guest? Because she's with us after weeks and weeks and weeks. And Toastmaster Rabia, the the Easy Speak has been alerting us that this member is losing interest. So what gives, Toastmaster Rabia? Hello? Toastmaster Rabia, are you there?
Might have fallen asleep. Oh, there she is.
Toastmaster
Hi, Rabia.
Rabia. You're unmuted. So yeah, I won't blame her though, because it's like 12:48 a.m. here. So it's morning. Rise and shine. All right. So yeah, we don't guest Yusuf, are you there? Are you there? All right. We'll take feedback from 2 more people because we're really getting close to closing time. So volunteers who would like to give their feedback on the meeting. All right, Michelle, please go ahead.
Well, I especially liked Sheena's table topics. I thought it was very inventive, and I particularly liked the question she asked me about creativity. I'm so inspired that I have signed up for table topics on September 5th, just so I can explore that, excuse me. So that's my takeaway. It was brilliant. I also thought, Tala, you did a great job of moving that moments of truth along. And yes, maybe we could have used a little more time, but I think we did great. And I also hope that maybe we follow up with interviewing or surveying the whole group so we can get a better idea of other people's impressions of the MOT. Back to you.
All right. All right. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, what would you like to eat right now?
Gosh, I guess I could use a piece of dark chocolate because my energy is flagging. So it would just be like 90% dark chocolate.
Oh, 90% dark chocolate. And which country should it be from?
Oh, well, Belgium.
All right. Always. All right. Here's a whole bunch of Belgian dark 90% chocolate coming your way.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Next, who would like to go next? The last one today. Sally, would you like to go?
Wow, yes. Do you
You're
have a question?
unmuted, so yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What is your question?
My question is, what are your takeaways from today's meeting?
Okay. I thought this thing really moved very well. I have a little greater knowledge about the personalities of who's on the other side of the screen. I really feel this was a very smooth meeting and I enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you.
All right. That's great. So what would you like to have?
Belgian chocolate.
Oh, all right.
With
All right,
nuts.
All right. So there you go. Enjoy your Belgian chocolate. And yeah, there are further like 5 more cartons coming. So,
Oh,
get ready. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Better vacate a shelf in your kitchen or whatever. So
I'm practicing
Yeah.
my railroad signs.
yeah. All right. So with that, we bring this meeting to a close.
Tala, I
And-
see that Alpana's got her hand raised.
Wait. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I couldn't see the hand against your background. So yeah, please go ahead, Alpana. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Sally. So what I was going to share from today's meeting is that I have to second, I really enjoyed the format of the table topics. So I felt like it gave a window into, everybody a little bit. And then I also really liked the interactive aspect. And that's something I was going to talk about a little bit, was the breakout rooms was like a nice opportunity to connect in smaller groups. And I don't know if there's an opportunity to bring that to other Toastmaster meetings where we can do that, because that just seems like a nice way to get to know people a little more on a one-on-one type of a basis, and also have an opportunity to speak, because sometimes at the bigger meetings you don't always have that opportunity to chime in or talk. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you so much, Toastmaster and everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So as a reward, what would you like to have?
So I'd love to actually have sushi.
Ah, wow, my favorite too. And the problem with sushi is that it's so damn expensive that I can't eat enough of it. So I'm seriously thinking about teaching myself to make sushi at home. Let's see how that goes. And please pray that all of us survive that experiment. But all right. So which particular sushi would you like to have?
Oh, my favorite is spicy tuna hand roll.
Oh my God. All right. All right. I can't have it right now, but you will surely have it. So yeah, I'm throwing it your way. There you go.
Thank you.
Enjoy. And save some for me. So with that, yeah, TJ and Cynthia, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to Alpana. We used to have breakout sessions.
You're breaking up.
Every single meeting, and that was mostly for our Speechcraft, for our few newer members. We brought them into. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's much better. Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me now? Okay,
Yeah.
great. We used to have breakout rooms primarily for Speechcraft for new members, and that was a great way for them to get to know each other and have more chance to speak. You're absolutely right. What we're going to be doing in October is we're going to be ending our keynote speeches, and we're going to practice more for our TEDx, and for people who don't want to do TEDx, they can practice more speeches. So we're going to have more speeches. We're going to have 4 in our main room, and then we will also open up breakout rooms if we have more speakers that want to practice other than that. And it will be in that breakout room, and it'll be more intimate, and they can go a little deeper with each other. But we do need to have them make sure that they have partners with them, so that they have a table topics master and a timer and can keep on time. And so that's something that it's really good that Kathleen showed us Easy Speak, because that we know how to use the agenda and Easy Speak and sign up for those roles, and also enlist others to participate with us so that we can speak. And we'll probably do some pods. We're thinking about like having 4 people. And so 2 people speak and 2 people act as staff, and they switch off. So great. Thank you. And I would like some chocolate, please.
Yeah. I wasn't about to ask
With
you,
Himalayan
but you
pink-
say chocolate. Any particular kind?
Yes, with Himalayan pink rock salt. Thank you.
All right, I'll need to look a bit for that. So yeah, I'll send that along later. Yeah, it's too exotic. It's not something you would buy off the shelf. So yeah. All right.
It's in off the shelf for us at Trader Joe's and.
Oh yeah. So
But
how
we're
about
very-
I send you? Okay, I'll
Sure,
send you a
Ash.
gift card or a cash voucher or something for Trader Joe's, right? So
I'll take it.
all right, there you go. I was
Thank
just
you.
teasing. I have it. I have tons and tons of it. So there you go. Yeah.
Delicious. Thank you.
Yeah, my country is one of the largest producers of rock salt anyway. So all I needed to do was to just pick some of the rocks and, put them in the chocolate and you have it. All right. All right. We are saying goodbye now, but our guest Varun requested that he wanted to say something. So if you can say it within 1 minute, guest Varun.
Okay. So the thing which interested me was the table topics today when Madam Table Topic Speaker asked, how can we make it more interesting? What we in our club follow is after every speaker is done speaking, the next speaker, whoever is selected, gets evaluated by the previous speaker. So this in turn helps the speaker to help with evaluation skill as well. Impromptu evaluations, not more than 30 seconds for a particular table topic. So this is what we follow, and this I thought might help you make your table topics more interesting. That's what I wanted to say. Back to you, Talha.
Yes, evaluation, and that also happens in a lot of clubs around the world. And yes, you're right that it can be potentially very useful, and it can add to the attraction of, especially for the guests who just drop in the meeting and speak on the table topics and get evaluated, get useful feedback. So we'll see if we can incorporate that in our because our schedule most probably would not allow for it, but maybe once in a while we can do that. So thank you so much for that valuable suggestion. Yes, Varun.
Actually, Tala, our members haven't really liked that evaluation. We've talked about that, but what we love is what the table topics that activity that's approved by Toastmasters International.
Right.
And that is to do active listening and reflect back to the table topic speaker what they just gave. And we love that. And we love to see more of that engagement here rather than evaluation. Because it's such a short speech.
That's perhaps the most direct way and the most exciting way to provide feedback to your speaker. But table topics evaluation has also been recognized as an optional role in the meeting. So previously it used to be completely off the books, but in recent manuals they have recognized this as one of the optional activities. But yes, it's by no means binding. So so with that, we bring this meeting to a close. In the third attempt to close this meeting, I trust I'll be successful. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you all next week. Goodbye and have a lovely rest of your day.